My name is Jonan Kanwanaho and I'm the team leader at Jonaki Holdings Limited. And at Jonaki Holdings Limited, we give credits, we give financial relief. So if you have a consignment that you intend to clear, very super quick, we make it available to you and you're able to actually keep in business as you also keep in business. So we are here to serve you. I'm glad that I'm here to share with you. As always, iron sharpens iron, so we get to come here to sharpen one another. And I come here specifically for 20 minutes to share with you what the Lord has actually put on my heart that can actually support your business. So that is my intention. And as I've always said, if you learn one or two things or three things and you don't implement, ultimately it will be in vain for you because you might not benefit of what it is that you can actually benefit. Because the gist of the matter, the logic, the uniqueness is in the implementation. So if you learn one or two things and implement, that will be my joy because you'll have valued your time and your data and your connection here, but also you'll have valued my data and my time and coming here to speak to you. And also to note is that these videos are posted to my YouTube channel, Jonan Kanwanaho. You can subscribe. You can also watch at your leisure. I've talked about several topics, but I've been majorly focusing on money lending. So you can make your time and just watch and see if you can pick one or two things. So today's topic is quite an interesting one. The pros of being vulnerable in business. So today's topic is quite an interesting one. The pros of being vulnerable in business. So the key term there is vulnerability because ultimately we ought to be vulnerable. And I bring this topic interestingly. Tomorrow I'm starting the masterminds of a few guys that I mentor and a few colleagues that are running money lending businesses. They're running financial institutions. And I'm sharing with them my journey and a few things that they can actually put in order. But you see, even if I'm going to share with them, as I'm going to walk with them the journey for 5 sessions, because we're going to be running this for the next 5 weeks, for 1.5 hours contact time per week. So those are 5 sessions. So as I'm walking the journey with them, as I'm guiding them, as I'm sharpening them, as I'm also being sharpened by my mentor or someone else whom I feed from, it is key that someone is vulnerable. Because you see, to be vulnerable is that you should be able to actually highlight your pain point. You should be able to highlight what it is that you're facing as a challenge in your business. Until you highlight that, then it becomes very tricky for actually someone to help you. It becomes very hard for someone to support you. Why? Because I do not understand your pain points. I do not understand your challenge. So it becomes a little tricky to actually support you. So you actually ought to be vulnerable. Let me give you an example. If, let's say, you are diagnosed with a certain disease, or if you have a certain challenge and you actually go to the doctor, the first thing that you actually have to ensure is that you have to tell this doctor that you're actually suffering from ABCD, or you feel like ABCD. Even if the pain that you're feeling is a little private, even if it's private like how, you still have to be vulnerable enough to actually say, you know what, I feel a pain here and there and there. Because until you say that, the doctor finds it very challenging to actually diagnose you as well as prescribe a medicine for you. So the diagnosis of your disease becomes a very huge challenge. Why? Because you have not given them heads up. You have not given that doctor heads up of where to start from. He has nowhere literally to start from. That's why when you go there, he actually first asks you how you feel. So what brings you here? So what is the pain point that you have? What is the challenge that you have? So how do you feel generally? So that he can have the pointers that can actually, based on his expertise, based on his qualifications, that can guide him where to start from and where to go. Otherwise, you'll come suffering from malaria and someone will prescribe for you medicine for heart, for high blood pressure, for any other disease. And this will partly be attributed to you because why? You are not vulnerable enough to actually tell this doctor that I feel ABCD. But had you been vulnerable enough to tell this doctor that you're feeling ABCD, he will have diagnosed the right disease, and then subsequently he will have prescribed the right medicine. So until you tell the truth, until you're vulnerable enough to tell the actual gist of the matter, the actual challenge that you have at hand, then the person who is meant to help will help you at the point of having the actual information, the real information, and then you actually get the right support. So I'll translate this to the business area, to the business world. You know, we are facing a number of challenges in businesses. And as I've already said, unless you're running a greenfield venture. Now, greenfield venture is a business that you're starting or you're running for the first time. You're the one who started that business. It is new in that industry. It has never been run around the world. It's a greenfield venture. It's a new thing. So unless you're running a greenfield venture, which greenfield ventures are very, very new, because you see, our businesses start from somewhere. At least someone has run it around the world, and you can actually learn one or two things from that very someone. So unless you're running a greenfield venture, someone has run your business and he's actually run it better, or he's even better at it than you are. So meaning that you have some room of where you can get the knowledge, the information to support your business. You have material, you have books that you can read and they can support your business because it's not a greenfield venture. It has never been run before. So we have challenges in businesses based in the industries we're playing in. If I focus on money lending alone, of microfinance institutions, we have a number of challenges. We have fraudsters, we have conmen, we have guys who even have the requirements, but he comes with the intention. Someone has a collateral, his bank statement is very good, but his ultimate intention is that he qualifies for that loan of 100 million, but as soon as you give it to him, the guy categorically refuses to actually pay you, and you have to tussle it out in the courts of the law. And even if you're to foreclose, it takes a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of inconvenience. And of course, the bad name, because you see, when you're foreclosing someone's item, it's not your wish most of the time, especially for genuine companies. It's not my wish that as a client comes, I clash with him or her. My intention is that this client pays very well. I also get to serve them very well, and we're all in business. But there's someone who can actually come specifically to defraud you. He has the bank statement that is good, he has a collateral that qualifies, and he gets the money with the heart of hearts that, you know what, I'm getting this money to defraud on this guy. So you have challenges in businesses. So until you have a contact time, until you have an interaction with someone who has walked the journey, with someone who has faced something hands-on, and until you're vulnerable enough to explain to this person that, you know, I'm going through challenges ABCD, then it becomes very hard. It becomes very hard to support you. So you may think you're being sharp by not being vulnerable, but it's affecting you. Because, you know, most of these engagements are paid for. As a matter of fact, I pay my mentor on every meeting almost. If I'm being mentored or coached, sometimes it involves a payment, it involves a cost on your side, but a cost on the person who is supporting you. Because, you know, even if you're not paying, this person is putting in his time. And as I earlier concluded in my previous talk, is that some of these guys who have excelled in these industries, they are very busy people. And they are also loaded people. They don't have much time to waste. They don't have time, first of all, but they also have the money. So they're actually doing you a favor to commit their time to come and support you. So if you come and meet them and you're not vulnerable enough to actually utter out that what your pain point is, it becomes very hard. It becomes very hard to support you. It becomes very hard because, or else they even diagnose a wrong thing. Because you've not told them your actual pain point, as I gave the knowledge of the doctor, if you give wrong signs or if you don't tell the truth to the doctor, then he might diagnose a wrong disease. And so applies to business. If you come to me and we have a one-on-one, and I meant to support you ABCD, and you actually do not, you tell me half truth, my hands will be tied. I'll diagnose the wrong thing, and before you know it, you apply wrong results, and you might not benefit. So today's topic is being vulnerable, irrespective of the business you're running. If you have someone who is holding your hand, be vulnerable. Tell this guy, you know what, my cash flows are bad. Tell this someone that, you know what, my debt levels are up there. How do I pay these debts and keep in business? Because you see, some of these guys are highly connected. They're highly influential. They have a network of people who have solutions at hand. So you might be hiding from a solution by hiding this information from this guy. He might be having a person who is having billions of money sitting in the account, idle money, and he can actually fund your venture, especially if your venture is profitable. So what I urge you this evening is that be vulnerable, especially with the person that is walking the journey with you, the business journey. Because to tell you the truth, business world, business leaders are lonely up there. They're lonely. They're looking forward to people they can pour onto. They're looking forward to environments that they are secure in, and they can actually open up their challenges. And they are opening to you. So if you have such an opportunity, it's important that you maximize it by not being mean with the information that you have to avail to the person to support you, by being vulnerable, by hitting it on the head. Because you see, until we approach that brutal fact that, you know what, I am facing ABCD and I have to be helped, then you cannot be helped. As I said in my talk, even if it involves the cost, you've paid that cost to meet that guy, to meet that mentor, to meet that colleague who can actually support you. When you get to that engagement, when you get that chance, be vulnerable enough. Tell this person that, you know what, I'm facing ABCD. Until you're vulnerable, then you cannot get supported. And it's painful. It's painful. I must say it's not as easy, because opening yourself bare to someone that perhaps you're meeting for the very first time, but because they are leading players in that industry, they know the ABCD, the pros and cons, the nitty-gritties of that industry. It takes effort, it takes energy. But what doesn't take energy? What doesn't take energy? Is failure. Doesn't failure take energy as well? Won't collapsing of your business take energy? It will definitely take energy. And more so, take energy and almost your life, because you need to thrive. And also not you alone. You're employing a number of people. Their lives at stake here, their families at stake here. So it will not take you alone, but also the guys that you're employing, the guys that you're supporting. So it will not take you alone. So look at it comprehensively. But you know, this business I'm in, it's not for me alone. There are lots of cards that are at risk. If I played these cards wrong, huge things are at risk. So you actually have to put down your pride, put down your arrogancy, and know that, you know what, if I am meeting this guy and he's meant to support me or she's meant to support me, then you actually have to open up to this person, to the core of the bone marrow. If your business is almost closing shop, tell the person, because you see, this guy has been in that freaking industry. This guy has run that industry, has run that business before, or he's still running it, and he's doing very well at it. Because my point of emphasis is, look out for a person who is running the very business and is doing it better. I guarantee you, there are people who have read books, there are people who have been exposed, and they have all this information, but when it comes to the actual practical bits, they are green. So don't go there. Go to someone who has done what it is that you're doing, and not just doing it, not just mediocrity, but they're doing it better. They are doing it better. You look up to them, because there will be something that you'll be learning from them. But you will not maximize the learning from them until you're vulnerable to tell them that, you know what, I am facing ABCD. They will misdiagnose your situation, and they will give you a wrong prescription, and you will not benefit. And your business will continue moving down the drain, down the trend, and yet, with the chance that you have with this person, it would have moved upwards. It would have accelerated upwards. So my emphasis this evening, my utmost request is that go out there. First of all, there is someone who is doing what you're doing and is doing it better. Go look out for that someone. If As I said, these people are very busy, they are very engaged. If you get a chance that you actually get audience to this person, or you get favor before this person, engage them. Tell them what it is that you're facing. And I know that you'll appreciate that moment. You'll appreciate that moment. As I tell you, it's not you who is at stake alone. It's not your business which is at stake alone, but a number of other businesses, a number of other people that perhaps you could mentor, a number of many employees that you're actually employing, a number of families that you're supporting. So I'm telling you the truth, it's not about you. It is not you who is feeding on your services alone. It is not you who is consuming your services. Or else you're out of business, or you've closed shop, or you're almost closing shop, because you're meant to serve someone else. Someone else is meant to benefit of your services. So no, it's not about you. It's about others. It's about serving someone. And ultimately, don't be proud. Go out there. Be vulnerable in the secure environment with a secure person, but a person who has something to add to your business, someone who has something to guide on your business because they have walked the journey. I'm telling you, had I not looked out for someone who is excelling in the industry I'm playing in, I would be down the drain. Jonah Key would not be existent. And that's why I belabor every Friday from 5:30. That's why I take my time. I have a number of things I can actually do. I can even choose to chill, just rest somewhere. But that's why I belabor that someone will land on this video and benefit. That someone will land on this talk and his life will be turned 360 degrees. I got some feedback from colleagues during the lockdown. Someone poured down to me and said, you know what, Jonan, it's because of your videos that I kept in business. I did not know how much joy that brings to my heart. Just because of the talk that someone kept in business. And he employed a number of people. And many families kept thriving, kept living. So go out there, be vulnerable, share your challenges with someone who can support you, and definitely you'll be supported. And definitely we shall meet at the top. Because you'll succeed, and I will succeed, and all of us shall succeed, and we shall definitely meet at the top. And what better world shall it be? A better world shall it be. So I speak a blessing over you. Thanks for tuning in this Friday evening. It's a pleasure that you actually logged in, and I pray that this benefits you. I speak a blessing over you guys, and I pray that the Lord blesses the works of your hands. Go out there, support whoever you can support, encourage whom you can encourage, uplift whom you can uplift. But above all, if you're being uplifted, if you're being supported, go out there and be vulnerable. Open up in a secure environment to that someone, and you don't know how they can actually support you. And that's how you can actually benefit of their wisdom and their support. I wish you the very best of the Friday evening. I wish you the very best of the weekend. May the good Lord shine his face upon you. May he bless you. May he cover you with his blood. May he protect you and your families and your businesses. Go out there and shalak. Go out there and bless communities, bless people, bless the country, develop the country, contribute to the economy, and let's meet at the top. Bye-bye. See you next Friday, 5:30, as we sharpen one another. Don't forget to check out my YouTubes and my channel, Jonan Kandwanaho. Subscribe and like and comment and give feedback. I'll appreciate. I love you all and have a great evening. Cheers and bye-bye.